Did you know that all languages have their equivalent of ums and ahs, including sign languages? Because ums and ahs are just a normal part of speech and get unfairly demonized. This topic is inspired by a friend who was active for many years in the Toastmaster community, where ums and ahs are about the worst thing you can do, to the point where it is someone's job to publicly mark every single time you use one, which it would be less cruel if you made me wear a shock collar, because no one would need to know when I do it, and I'd also kind of be into that. These types of words, the ums, ahs, likes, so's, you knows, in linguistics we call these filler, and they actually serve several important functions in discourse, not the least of which is for speakers to signify to listeners that although they need to pause for a second, they are not ceding their turn. Which, as someone that was frequently talked over as a kid, and you can tell, I appreciate. Looking at filler words from other languages, I noticed a couple broad trends that, while they don't explain everything, they do seem to be fairly common. These include simple sounds like which are the type of sounds a baby might make when they're starting to babble, which, if you've watched my other videos, you know is the reason why the words for mother tend to include M's. Other categories include conjunctions like so, thus, as well as questions designed to verify engagement. You know, right, eh? The most interesting thing I learned when researching this video is that these filler words also exist in sign language, which honestly shouldn't have been surprising to me because sign language is just language. But because it's articulated using your hands instead of your mouth, there's an expectation that it's going to be different, but it's not. It develops in the same way as spoken language and uses the exact same parts of the brain. In fact, the signs used in American Sign Language are so natural, they're gestures I make all the time, including earlier in this video. But the deaf content creator, Jason Gervais, pointed out one major difference between how these gestures are used in the deaf community versus outside. Specifically, that people with hearing tend to close their eyes while making them, whereas deaf people tend to leave their eyes wide open, which, given how they interface with the world, makes a lot of sense to me.